alert, we're unpacking the whole plot, twist by twist. If you're spoiler sensitive, hit pause and come back when your TBR list catches up. Cheers!
Welcome to the podcast where our reading habits are unhinged.
And so are we.
I'm Gabby.
I'm Miranda.
And this is Marginally Unwell. Today, special episode. We are diving headfirst into the literary underworld, cracked spines, snack-stained pages, and yes, we do judge books by their covers, and we're not sorry about it. This is Reader Confessions, the sins and icks of book lovers, and it's about to get messy. If you've ever lied about reading Pride and Prejudice or rage quit a book mid-chapter, congratulations, you're among friends. No bookish crime will go unconfessed or unjudged.
So, let's get into it. Bookish icks. I can't stand it when characters. What do you think about this? Do you have any icks for characters when they act a certain way or do a certain thing?
Yes, we recently talked about this. One of my big ones is like and I don't know if it's just because I read a lot of fantasy, so I feel like it comes up quite a bit, like I'm different from other girls, or like whenever they're like such a badass, like
There's no backstory on it.
there's no backstory, and all of a sudden they're just apparently just awesome. And I'm not saying they can't be awesome, for sure. But
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason I can't whenever characters have that with no
Context.
yeah.
I feel that. I like a strong FMC, but I also see what you're saying. Okay, here's the thing. You can't start a story at the very beginning when they suck, because then I don't want to, not every time.
Sure.
But I do see what you're saying, and then the whole book, they don't prove it. But if they prove it throughout the book that why they are this way and why they have that swag and that character, like, insight, I accept it. There's a book I read recently where it's like, oh, I saved all of these people and da-da-da, and they know me for, like, this reason. But the entire book, she doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Then I'm like,
I
I hate you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm saying with you. Yeah, strong FMC for sure. Totally down for that. I'll get behind you 100%. I can't stand. There's no context
Right
for
off
me,
the
and
bat.
everybody just accepts that she's awesome. And then, like I said, or the other part of that, which is like I'm not like other girls.
That just
Same
irritates
thing.
me. Like, how do you know all the other girls?
Yeah.
But I'm unique trope.
It gives me Nick.
Yeah, I get it.
What about you? Mom?
I hate it when characters like don't have any, like they can't emphasize with other characters. Where it's like they don't have. It's almost like a miscommunication. Where
Oh,
they can't put themselves in another character's point of view, and they're like, "No, you're wrong. No, da, 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 da." And it's like they know best. I know everything. I'm the smartest person alive, and I make no mistakes.
Yeah.
It's like
When the ego's too big.
yeah, when the ego is too big, and you cannot see how you're wrong. Like I hate it so much. I'm
To be
just like
fair, I feel like I hate that in real life.
100%. I all around, bro. You can't even. It's like talking to a brick wall. That one's my big one. So whenever they can't just
Remember themselves?
get over themselves, they can't admit it.
So something you read recently. How many books are you currently reading right now?
So, well, try not to read more than 4 at a time. I really try not to, because if I do, then I feel like it's just too much to like jump in and out of things.
Yeah.
But I am always reading at least 2 books at a time. I can't do one. It doesn't have different books for different reasons in different parts of the time. So like I'll read like I drive a lot, so I have an audiobook always playing, and I read that one. I'll listen to that one, and then I have one to like settle myself, to get ready for bed, or like quiet my mind, and then I usually have one that's just like a fun read that I just read because I want to read it. Yeah. And then usually a fourth one is because those ones aren't satisfying me enough and I get another book. But if it's more than that, it gets me to be overwhelmed. What about you? I know you're really bad at this.
So wait, how many are you reading right now, bro?
Right now, I'm reading 2. Okay. I just finished the 3rd one last night, so I'm down to 2.
Okay.
Yesterday, I was reading 3.
You asked me 1 hour ago. Exactly. Have a different answer. I'm currently reading 4 right now, but I feel like it's really kind of like 3 because I'm doing the Throne of Glass random read. So I feel like that counts as 1.
Yeah, that does count as 1. It just counts as 1 extremely long.
really, really long. So yeah, I'm at 4 right now, which I feel like is pretty normal for me. I always have stuff going on because I have like my own what I just want to be reading, and then you read stuff for the podcast, you read stuff for book club.
Yeah.
I do a lot of buddy reads with Joe, so there's always books.
There's always books. Yes. What is like the highest books that you've read?
I think probably like 5.
5 at one. I think I've gotten into there, and it's too much. Because I want to get to the point faster, and I don't think I can get to it as quick. Like, if I get to a good spot in the book, like, it's hard for me to set it down and then pick up another book where it's dull.
Yeah, that's true. I get that. I feel like it would be harder for me to go more than like 5 because I think the main reason why I'm always reading multiple at one time is for specific reasons. So it's because I'm reading them like for something with someone.
Yeah.
Or I'm trying to just have different genres because I'm a big mood reader, and so sometimes I can't with fantasy and I need something lighter or easier, things like that, and then also different platforms. So, but I feel like going more than 5, like I'm not reading 6 different genres at one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to branch out, not that much.
That often.
That's crazy. But yeah, I'd say 5 is probably like my max.
So, speaking about maximizing your book reading list, in research of prompts of this, and I did not know this was a thing, which is wild. So, while we were looking for prompts to talk about, a big reoccurring one was that time I lied on my Goodreads and marked a book as finished, even though you didn't finish it.
Yeah. Or just like lying about finishing a book like in a
group setting, and you're like, oh yeah, that totally happened. And then it's like, did it? You're just trusting this person also read the book at that point.
Like, could you imagine if you had like a whole group together and like one person brings it up, but like nobody else had actually read it, and everybody's just like agreeing with random.
And then the one person that read it is like, where is this?
That'd be crazy.
Going? We should do a prank like that on our book club.
That'd be funny. If you're watching right now, no, you're not. I was gonna say it was wild though that it kept coming up, and especially with the Goodreads thing,
yeah,
kind of blew my mind.
So you can get closer to your reading goal, and it's like you're not though. Just pick a different book. Just DNF it and pick a different book.
I was like, why are people doing this? Are people actually doing this? And the amount that it came up while we were kind of, like you said, finding topics to talk about, it was kind of crazy. And I was like, people must be doing this for the sake of this frequently. And I'm just like, who out there? Who out there is lying on their Goodreads?
Yeah, it's just there's a trend going on right now on Book Talk where it's like diving into your Goodreads goal where they're like jumping and like freeze framing.
Oh yeah, like and the runner thing.
Yeah, the runner thing. And it's like so many out of this, and it's like, is it though? Is it?
I know. Now I'm questioning everything I know about Goodreads.
Are you readers actually reading?
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to me. We were kind of talking about it as preparing for this episode. I feel like you and I have so many opinions about books. There is no way that I am faking my way through a conversation about a book. Because I'm just agreeing with everything somebody's saying. If they know me at all,
I was about to say, there's at least something you disagree with in a book. There's one thing at least.
There's no way. There's no way that people would believe that. I guess unless you didn't know me, but I just can't imagine.
Like, she's shy.
That's crazy. But I can't even imagine in like a group setting. I think we talked about this as well. That if people were talking about a book that I hadn't read, I maybe wouldn't say like, "Oh, I haven't read it." I just wouldn't participate in the conversation.
Yeah.
Like they would be talking about it, and I wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, or you can ask questions about what they're talking about.
Yeah, and that is more likely to me than anything because I'd be like, "Oh, that sounds actually really interesting. I haven't read that.
Yeah,
Tell me more."
exactly.
But then to pretend I read it,
Bro, I can't. Like the FOMO got people. It's like it's okay to admit that you didn't read the book.
What's crazy is like the FOMO gets you, but like you could just read the book.
Honestly, and if you didn't want to read it, listen to it.
I don't know.
Go and read the highlights or something. I don't.
That was one of the most
With
wild sins, I guess, that I could say that we talked about during the prep for this.
Yeah, we were both baffled. We're like, what?
Yeah. So if you're out there lying on your Goodreads or lying in groups, anonymously confess in the comments.
I anonymously confess I'm this. So speaking on that too, is like a big one was that you didn't finish a classic read or like a book from school or something, and you're like faking your way through it. And I don't know how you can pick your favorite classic.
I don't know how people are doing this. Apparently I'm not.
We're not that clever.
I guess I would just be like, oh, never read it.
Yeah.
Haven't heard of her.
Just admit it. It's okay. It's fine.
We can't all have read all the books as much as we would like to. So, with that also, talking about classics, maybe, what is the most overrated book you've ever read? I only say classics because I feel like sometimes that gets up there with overrated.
Yeah, I don't tend to go towards classics. I mean, I have read some. You know, I'm not gonna put myself through that. Or the pacing, but they're classics for a reason. But there are like overrated ones. There's this, it's a popular-ish series by Anna Wong. What is it? The Hateful Love, Love to Hate, Twisted Hate. Like
the Twisted
series. Yes, it was overrated. It was like an intro to like dark romance or like twisted romance. I thought the stories were good, but it was just overly hyped, overly rated, and they're more like 2 to 3 star books. And people saying that they're like, maybe they're not saying, but they're giving that it's 4 to 5 star reads, and I'm like, bro, there's no way. There's no way that this is a 4 to 5 star read. I think one of them.
Okay, wait. Let's preface this. You should have said this in the beginning. We're not here to yuck anybody's yum, okay? If that really is a 4 or 5 star for you, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. But just know we cannot understand.
Yeah, there's not.
That's the disclaimer. You do
Maybe
you.
it hits you differently. But to me, it's just no. The story wasn't there. There were some things that were good about it. Now, I really like the author. Not to say like they were bad books. They were average, not great. For other series, like The Kings of Sin, I really liked that.
I just read the first one of that.
I really liked the first one. It was like I said, it's not a 4 or 5 star read, but it's middle of the road. It's the job done. It's a nice story. But yeah, that series I think is overrated. What about you?
So I've been talking about this one a lot recently, and I can't say that the whole series I feel like it's overrated. And some of this is a little bit on me for my timing of this, but I really did not enjoy Throne of Glass, which is I know a hot take for a lot of people.
I don't know why people get so like their feathers ruffled about if you don't like something, because I don't feel that way. I really liked it, and you and I really like a lot of the things, But it's almost, I don't feel like, you didn't like it? What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's so good. It's like, oh, it's not, is it really? I really liked it. And I wanted you to experience that I really liked it.
Well, and so I think I have my reasons for not really liking it that much, but I also feel like part of what played into it is everybody in my life was like, this is her best series, you're gonna love it, all the things, and so it was really hyped up to me personally. And then I also just got done reading Red Rising, which was like a phenomenal series for me.
Recap on that, because I want to say something about that.
Okay, and so I think I was also in a bit of a book hangover going into Throne of Glass, and so that may have also tainted a little bit.
A new series?
So that's what we were like gonna start next. Because I was reading these with Joe, and we had already talked about it like at the beginning of starting Red Rising. We were like, oh, Throne of Glass is gonna be next.
Okay, that I'm upset about that. Because listen,
It's me.
I did, you did. Because it's like,
I don't think we read one in between.
you didn't even read like a thriller or something in between?
I mean, I did.
Okay.
But not like with him. And so it wasn't like straight into it, but there was maybe like 2 in between, and I was still Red Rising.
Okay.
I think Red Rising is my favorite series ever right now.
Okay.
So
that's bad. Not that it's your favorite. I'm glad for that. But
going into it, and so that's what
you don't have any like.
But I do know that, so I am taking that into consideration, and I do feel
not enough. Not enough.
I don't know, because some of the writing in Throne of Glass, I can't get behind. And so, the second one also, there is something specific in this series that like really has been pissing me off, like so bad. So this is a huge spoiler. I know we already gave spoiler disclaimer, but after Nehemia dies, she like essentially facilitates her own death to manipulate her into like fighting. It drives me up the wall that we're like however many books in I am now, and she still brings her up as like
a pinnacle part of her life.
Yes, and I'm like, you barely knew her.
Yeah,
you barely knew her, and you have so many other reasons to be fighting these battles, but she's always like, oh, like I have to make Nehemia proud. I have to do this for Nehemia, and I'm like, girl, you knew her for like a summer. Like, why are we still bringing this bitch up? Like, and also what she did. Like, she fully manipulated you. Because she was like, you're a coward, like, you're a piece of shit for not, like, getting behind my agenda. So I'm going to facilitate my own death so that you are traumatized and feel bad, and so then you carry on my agenda. I cannot. And so I just started the tandem read, like I said, and she already brought her up, and I was like,
here we are again.
I hate you so much now. I just can't get it. Every time, because like I said, Joe and I are reading it together, and every time it comes up, Joe and I are talking, and I'm like, when is she going to let it go? Never. So it's been really getting to me. You couldn't help.
I do see your point on that. I did get annoyed when I was reading this with that, because I was the same way, and I'm like, why are you giving her so much weight?
Yeah.
Backing it up, I'm still upset that you went series for series. That's crazy. And I also have to say, Pierce Brown was like 26 whenever he started writing.
This is true.
She was like 16, 17.
She was 16 whenever she wrote Throne of Glass.
And I will say the first 2, maybe 3 books are very YA.
Yeah.
Very.
I tried very hard to keep that in mind, because I did feel like some of the writing for me, like especially in Throne of Glass specifically, it felt super disjointed. Like we were just going from like plot point to plot point.
Yeah.
And there really wasn't a lot of like story build in between.
Yes.
It was just kind of like, hey, here's this list of things I want to happen in this book, and we kind of were just like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And it didn't really make sense. This was also one of the books, because I didn't read Assassin's Blade first. I read Throne of Glass first, because that's what was recommended to me. But you go into it, and she's literally like, I'm the greatest assassin, basically, that's ever lived. Everybody is like, she's amazing, she's such a badass, and I'm just like, but like, where? What's happening? She does a lot of shopping, which no judging. I'm just saying.
I love the shopping. I love the shopping. I was like, oh yeah, I did that silk thing.
I'm just like, I am having a hard time with her. And then, like, as going forward, I have felt Queen of Shadows, I felt like was where I first started to, I was like, starting to enjoy it more. I don't like what she's doing with Kale's character.
I hate that.
That really is driving me kind of nuts. And yeah, so
I could do without.
So yeah, I am struggling through this one, and I will take some of the responsibility for starting it right after such a like pivotal series for me. I think maybe not as much, but I think I still would be struggling.
Crazy, going series for series. That's nuts.
I didn't think that I was good. I knew that I really loved Red Rising. I did not think I was going to love that whole series as much as I did. And like I said, we had already kind of like, we were like, oh, we're going to read Throne of Glass. Because I read stuff separate from him, obviously. I did get a couple in there in between, but it was pretty much like back to back because we had already decided that. Sometimes the timing will get you.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally see, because you're like, you just came off a really good series, and then you go into a series, and you can't help but compare it.
Well, not only that, but I also had such high expectations for Throne of Glass because having loved Crescent City and majority of Avatar, I was like expecting it to be like top tier, and I just wasn't getting that. You know, I'm sad for myself too because I wanted to love it so much.
Yeah, I get it. I am understanding of that. That, because those are such pivotal ones, are there any like books that you get for like just vibes between these like big series books, or even just when you're like shopping around, you're like, oh, this would be a nice one. So do you get it for just like vibes? Do you get any books just because of the trope or the cover or anything?
Definitely. I think most of us have done this, but I have definitely picked up books just by looking at the cover. I feel like a lot of that has to do with my mood. One of the ones that I recently picked up that I'm very surprised by, because as we all know by now, I am not a big romance reader, but I saw, what is it called? Wild Eyes. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, it looks so cute.
Yeah.
And I bought it.
Like her whole series looks like,
it's cute.
Yeah, it has really good aesthetic. Yeah.
Another one that I bought for the vibes that I didn't read, which is crazy because I bought it for the fall vibes, and I bought it last year, and then I didn't read it. So I'm going to try to have it on my fall TBR this year, but it's called Spell Shop.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say the Pumpkin Spice Cafe.
Oh.
Because I straight got that one on Kindle.
Yeah.
Because I was like, cute.
Yeah. Cute. It's a fall.
I have a latte.
I don't know. I think I saw a TikTok on the Spell Shop, and it's like, oh, cute little like cottage woodsy vibes. And then I didn't read it. So hopefully this fall.
Fingers crossed. So, speaking of like, you saw TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm 100% guilty of getting books because of like a TikTok
edit.
And I'm like, and then I get to the book and I'm like, why did I pick this up? And then I kind of go back and because I write them down why I wanted to read it. And I'm like, the TikTok edit got me.
It's not even, you know what, the ones that get me on TikTok are where they go into like explaining this whole scenario and you think it's like about them.
This one girl at work.
Yeah.
You know,
and you're like, oh, what? And then they're like, it's a book, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Today.
Now you're invested because it's like introduced as gossip.
Yeah. Those things.
I like those, but I 100% am guilty of like where they have like the AI edits and it's like them moving and it's like, oh, if you like this vibe, you will like this, and it's like a cow. And then it's like this girl that's just rough and tumble or whatever, and you're like, man, that looks really good. And then you get the book, the edit was better.
Yeah.
The video was better than the book.
You explained it so much better than this actually was.
I get them. I am also guilty of picking up books just because of the tropes, or like you said, cozy vibes.
Yeah.
Or in between readers. I do that a lot for me.
So I kind of already touched on this, I guess.
Oh, the book that everyone. Okay,
I guess kind of the same as
yeah. I'm gonna
a book that everybody loves that you hated, and I did not hate.
Glass.
Let me just say that right now. I did.
It just didn't live up to your expectations.
It was just like mid for me, and I thought it was going to be amazing. So, did not hate.
I am going to circle back into this conversation because I put a pen and I didn't. So, Red Rising. We read this book for our book club.
The first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
The first book. And when I read it, I gave it like a 3.5 because I was like, it was good. I liked it. And I really wanted to read it because a lot of people that I talked to about books really recommended the series. And I read the first one and I wasn't like super impressed by it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's very sci-fi fantasy and it leaned more sci-fi. And I'm not much of a sci-fi reader. So it didn't really hit those things. But then, like, I really want to give it a second chance because you really liked it and Joe really likes it, and everyone that recommended this series to me is like, you need to finish it. You need to finish it. It's better. And so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna read the whole series. I'm gonna start back over and I'm gonna go into it with a fresh mind.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna like for sure put some books before I read it because I'm like I feel like I'm begrudgingly maybe wanting to read it, but I didn't want to do that, so I'm gonna like give it a chance.
Yeah.
It was a book that wasn't like everyone's like the first one's so good. It was like a 4 or 5 stars for me, and then I read it and I'm like,
yeah. I will say I do feel like you should read it. And I do think you'll enjoy it. I don't know that you will enjoy it as much as I did. I do feel like it needs more of something I would choose versus something you would choose. Because it's more like sci-fi dystopian.
The dystopian stuff I'm into. The sci-fi stuff I have a hard time with.
And so I think that you'll still really like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it is more my lane than yours. I still recommend reading it, but there's that.
Go into it.
Yeah, because I read Red Rising and I gave it a 4. I thought it was great, and it took me however many months to convince Joe. I was like, I'm telling you, and then he is like,
I know it's his Roman Empire.
Yeah, he is obsessed. And I'm like, I told you, I knew it.
Is this one me?
Yeah.
So next one. Words that make you close the book immediately. It doesn't have to be necessarily words, but also like a scene, maybe.
Anything that like
Anything
makes you
that
like,
makes you like,
done.
I'm done. Or even TBR it or set it down.
My biggest one that I find myself just like giving me the ick for is mostly in spicy scenes. I feel like whenever those scenes tend to be like really crude language, I guess it like I don't know.
Let me ask you this: is it like crude language as descriptive, like as they're describing it, like the author is describing it, or like crude language of the characters talking?
It's I feel like a lot of times it is like specific words. The C word I cannot. There's just something about that word that like grosses me out. But I don't know. Or when they use the same word over and over and over again, that really like gets to me. I just feel like it kind of like throws me out of the book the easiest in those scenes. It's not that I'm a prude or anything. It's just like
If it's not written well, it's not written
yeah.
well.
I don't know. Those are the ones that get to me the easiest. I feel like. What about you?
So I really hate the "get me pregnant, I want to get you." I hate that. I hate it so much. I will not read the book. Like, oh, I just want to, it's constantly brought up, and it's like, when she had my babies, and sometimes she's like, I'm not ready for that, and he's like constantly like wanting them, or the whole time she's like pining over him, and he's kind of like giving her the time of day, and she's like, I'm like, bro, chill out. Like, y'all haven't even gone on a second date. Like, just take a cold shower. I hate it. Or even whenever they, I don't like it. It's just not my thing. That's fine. I hate it. Another thing I hate is I don't mind love triangles. I hate when love triangles are done between brothers or sisters. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't mess with family. Don't do it. Like, what is your deal? I will close the book. Like, I'm done. That's it. Mainly tropes, not really words. So I'll get past that. It's only going to be so long.
That's true. I don't think I've ever DNF'd a book like strictly on that. I have DNF books that like had that in it, but also like the story just sucked. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that it would be enough to like fully make me if it was just like, oh, it happened in one scene. But yeah,
I think usually when I'm like talking about those spicy scenes and they're written poorly, if that's written poorly, the book is written poorly because it's dividing.
I think that's true.
So, and that was just like the final straw. You're like, that.
Speaking of the final straw, what are some characters that you would absolutely slap? Characters that you hate.
Characters that I hate, like specifically. We're saying names, okay? Because we were talking about this earlier. Hale.
Yeah.
He's so self-absorbed, and like the whole time in the series, he's like, do you really kill them? Do you really do that? And like the whole fucking time, she's talking about she's an assassin. What do you think assassins do? And you're surprised that she murders people? I'm like, I can't with you.
Yeah.
And he acts all high and mighty, but you're like
Yeah.
the king's guard or whatever his position is. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you have this position and you've never killed a single person?
Yeah. So again, I haven't finished it yet, but like up to the point where I'm at. Whenever she like first comes back after going to be with Rowan and Maeve and all that stuff, and then she comes back and he is like acted so high and mighty, like where was she? And he's the one who like sent her away.
And then he's like, what do you mean you're talking?
And then he's so hypocritical about everything.
I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Bro. I hate it. If he's around, and if he's in the front group, I'd be like, not paying attention. He's like one of the people I'd like tolerate. And then if he like went on, like kept going on, like I can totally see myself like going off on it.
Yeah.
And like giving him receipts and shit. But he's like, he needs to be taken down.
Yeah.
Or 3. So him, the little sister from the Anna artist.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when we were talking about it earlier. Yeah, she was annoying.
She was like,
she is a young girl in that. But yeah, she was very.
She was a young girl, but she also talked about adult themes. So how are you like?
Yeah,
it's just you're navigating both being a child and navigating adult context and adult stuff, but you don't have any like sense. You don't have any experience, and you feel like you got no sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some more like, there's something.
My big one, which you won't know about, but it's Lysander.
So now look out for that guy.
I hate him so much. I don't know. Most of the time with villains, I feel like I'm very of the mind. I love to hate on kind of thing. Like there has to be a villain, right? There has to be, but sometimes they're just annoying.
Whenever you said that, I immediately thought of Cersei versus Joffrey
Yes,
because I love to hate Cersei. but
Cersei
I
is a great villain. Joffrey is annoying as sin. So yes, that's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah. So going into reading types in all these books, how do you feel about the differences of physical reading, Kindle reading? Because this is a hot topic for some people.
Yeah, which I think is a little bit crazy to me personally. I think, however, you are consuming the information, you're consuming the information.
I agree.
You're getting through the book, so whether that is a physical, Kindle, e-reader, whatever, I don't care. Like, why
Yeah,
are we saying like it's not actually
it's the
reading?
same.
One of
You're
the
getting the
things,
same information.
so something that like really I was thinking about, like, you know, everybody wants to say, oh, they're not actually reading, or like talking about physical books are like better, whatever, for whatever reason. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a physical book, love it, but I also have an e-reader because I can't take 12 books with me everywhere I go all the time.
Yeah.
And so that is really convenient. Like you, I drive a lot, but guess what? I still would like to read my book. But I think people are so hung up on the fact of like, if you're not reading with your eyeballs.
So,
But I'm like, you would still call a writer. But when was the last time you think authors actually like wrote?
yeah. Exactly.
They're still writers.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're getting a little too hung up on like the path people take to get there, but if they consume the information and can have a discussion, honestly, I'd take them over the people lying about their Goodreads, okay?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you're just nodding along to listen to the book at 2x.
So I think however you are able to get books in, I think that is more than fine, and I think it all counts as reading. You're a reader. The end. Discussion.
Completely agree with your statement. I think it's at this point, whenever I first was getting into reading, like high school, middle school time, remember, I would do a lot of physical books. So at the time, when we were also young, there wasn't a whole lot of e-readers, and then we did have audio books, but the audio narrators were very poor. So I would always tend to be a physical book reader.
Sure.
And I'd live at half-price books. So
listen, if I could consume the amount of books that I do, and they all be physical,
where would they live? Where would they be stored?
That also. But like I would. I love physical books. But that's just not a reality. Whenever we were younger, yes, we had a lot more time to be able to sit there and all the things with a book. And like you said, we didn't really have access. There weren't a lot of options for e-readers, and they were kind of not.
They weren't great.
And maybe think it too. So we're in high school, right? But we have a lot more time. And I think it's kind of crazy that people, like, for me specifically, I'm a mom, and I think about other moms that the only way that they are able to get that in is audiobooks or e-readers because they have little kids running around, and so they only get to do that while they're cleaning the house or whatever. Right. So we're going to put them down and say that they're not a reader because that's all that they can give is listening while they clean their house and take care of their kid. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. But I was also going to touch on, I read all forms. I prefer audiobooks. My second go-to is Kindle. And then I will do a physical book. Now, at this point in my life, like a lot of the times I get physical books because I'm out thrifting with you or we go and I'm like, oh, okay, this is a nice book and I'll pick it up. But I now at this point will get books as trophies. Like they're my favorite. They're like my 4 to 5 star read books, and or like it's a series that I really enjoy, and then I'll get the book.
Yeah.
Then my Kindle reads, I like to have those, like you said, like I can't take a bunch of books with me and I want to have something to read and I don't want to have like my audiobook going at the time. So I'll like read my physical book or my Kindle. I'll also use my Kindle at night whenever I unwind because I'm not on my phone. Like it's just reading.
Yeah.
Now, I do a lot of audiobooks. I drive a lot. I can multitask while I'm listening to an audiobook.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm reading on my Kindle, that's all I'm doing.
Right.
That's it. And I feel guilty when I'm reading this because while I'm reading it, like I'll have intrusive thoughts. Oh, it's 2 p.m. on a Saturday. You could be doing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And now I'm like, and I'm just taking the time to myself. And like, as I should. But if I'm listening to the audiobook, I could be washing the dishes. I could be putting away laundry. I could be doing errands, whatever. I'm more available to do things, and I don't feel bad for giving myself that.
That's a great point, and I feel like there's no shame in either one. There's no shame in taking the time to be able to sit down and read a book, alone, and be able to enjoy that physically. There's also no shame in saying, hey, like, I have other stuff to do, but I still want to enjoy this book, so I'm going to listen to it while I get my ears done for a while.
Yeah.
And if you only read physical books, like, good on you. Like, I'm glad that you're enjoying books the way that you like to. I don't like when people put other people down and say that they, like, can't be a part of this community, basically, because they're listening to it versus looking at it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And like you were saying, into other stuff, like a writer not being a writer because they don't write.
Yeah.
And it's also,
You would never say that.
Oh,
man. So, obviously, we have some big feelings on that. Moving on to the next topic, though, which we already kind of touched on because you have a couple of these tropes that should be arrested.
Revisit my previous answer. So, the breeding trope and the love triangles between, like, family or, like, brothers or sisters or, like, best friends. I hate that. I hate that. Whenever they're, like, these really solid connections are pitted against each other. I hate it.
Yeah, I couldn't do the best friend thing. For sure. No.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail. Yeah. I don't know. I really have, like, tropes that I already kind of talked about the, like, overly aggressive female lead.
Is that a trope, or is that, like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really think that's a trope.
I know some ones that you really like is the enemies to lovers.
That's probably my favorite. I'm not a big fan. Like, I'll still read it, but I'm not a huge fan of, like, the forced proximity thing, like the one bed.
Oh, forced proximity?
Yeah, like
I thought you said fourth proximity, like fourth wall.
No, right?
Okay.
No, just like we're, like, stuck with each other, so now we're gonna fall in love.
Oh. Yeah. That I don't mind, but I find it
you
less.
just don't like, no matter what. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like a deal breaker for me or anything, but that's like what comes to mind. Kind of thinking about ones that I don't necessarily prefer.
Yeah.
At least versus pop.
The forced proximity, I don't mind, but I find it less believable.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Those are like those two are my big ones. So, judging your bookshelf. So,
Judging you by your bookshelf.
Judging you by your bookshelf. Now, this actually sparked up a slight conversation between us because you were thinking it was.
Yeah, I took it a little bit a different way. Yeah.
Like, she was thinking, what, decoration or.
Like how you organize your bookshelf?
Yeah.
Like some people do, like, rainbow order, or they do it alphabetically, or it's just chaotic. And so initially I was like, no, I don't judge people for that.
It's how they like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see the side of any of that. Like, I can see how, like, alphabetical would be good for my analytical brain, but I also like rainbow order because, like, the aesthetics. but I also get the like chaos of it because I'm a little bit of a chaotic reader. So I don't feel like that.
It is how you display it. It's also their stuff.
However, you interpret it as a different way.
I interpret it as if I go to somebody's house and they show me their reading collection and I look at the shelves and it's all romance, I'm judging.
And it's all one genre.
If it's all one genre. So like, or even two, I think people need to have some variety, like branch out a little bit. Like even if you're more of a romance reader and you do like the lighthearted, bubbly.
Yeah, we all have our favorites.
And
for sure.
And also like branch out a little bit. Like read other stuff. Like how is it that the only thing that you like is this one specific thing? And it doesn't have to be romance. I mean like all horror or like all like are you in a dark place right now? I'm worried. I mean, we like what we like.
I mean, I feel like every reader says that they can like that they have a genre that they really lean towards.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot to learn from other genres. Like even it's about you as a reader, and different writing styles come with different genres and things like that. And
so, and it also puts yourself into scenarios. Almost. Like you're seeing how these characters will, and the story develops in a horror setting versus how story develops in a romance, and how it, a contemporary. But everything has a story, and everything has its own, like, there's different pressures in a horror than there is in a romance. And it kind of, like, makes you think a little bit about yourself. Like, how, like, if I was in this position, how would I take it? You know, just kind of explore yourself a little bit. Not that you have to read every single genre, but I'd be worried if it was just all one genre. We can't be friends.
Yeah, if I walked in and saw all romance, I'm like, we're not the same.
Not even a romantasy.
So next up, we're talking about judging. These are some big ones, some hot topics. Spine breaking, annotations, dog earing pages. Are you guilty of any of these sins, and or do you judge people for doing these things? Okay, I want to say. Okay, wait. Hold on, I'm going to preface this with the annotations of specifically annotating in pen. Okay, I should have wrote that.
Okay, annotating in pen.
So, breaking the spines, annotating in pen, and dog earing pages.
Why does this feel so like?
Why do I get so hot?
I'm going to start with one and go down.
Okay.
So, spine breaking. I don't break the spines. Or at least I try not to. But I want a floppy book. Okay? And to do that, you have to
open it.
Massage the spine out. And you don't have to break it. And I learned this a long time ago, but if you get a book and you hold it up and you go down like 50 pages and then go like this, you'll get a really good floppy book. Now, when I was younger and I didn't know what I was doing, 100%. But I was also like 12. Give me some breaks. Dog earring is a crime. I don't like it. I don't like the dog earring. Now, if it's a book you own, do you. If it's a library book, how dare you? That's public property.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hated checking out a book in the library and it's like dog ears and it's like ripped because of constant this. Yeah. I hated it. I hate the dog ears. Because I also like whenever I pick up a book and I look at the pages, like you can see all of this. And it's only a year old. Like, why does it have all of these creases? It's crazy. I'm not picking up a brand new book and it has all these creases. Like, I'm the one that looks for like straight pages. Because it's a trophy book to me at this point, right? I want it to be perfect. What was the other one? Annotating. I don't mind the annotating. I don't mind it in pen. I hate it when it's like the whole side of the book and you're trying, like, how do you have that many thoughts on a sentence? You know what I mean? Like, how are you going to write 5 sentences about one thing that they said
Yeah.
and you're trying to fit it all in a margin. Now, this is a physical book, right?
Sure. I mean, yeah.
Okay. If it's an e-reader, like the Scribe,
Yeah.
okay, whatever, that's what it's for. You have like a whole passage section. You can do like notes and you can highlight and whatever. But when is it ever that serious to write it? Like, why in pen? It's your book, whatever, do you. Okay, and there's also a difference, okay? So if it's like a self-help book or like a motivational book, I write, especially, I do it in pen, I do it in highlighter, I write, and I'll do like, oh, this meant to me in this word. And I also will go back and reread the book and I see my thoughts and myself at that time. Yeah. So I do like that. I don't mind it that way. But if it's like a romance, like it's just a goofy romance. You know, like all these thoughts on it, like, bro, what are you doing? I'm judging a little bit on the annotations of the book.
Annotating doesn't bother me. The intent, I guess I should say. I don't do it, but it's your book, it's your book. Spine breaking, I don't intentionally do it, but I have seen people who like read their books like barely open because they're not trying to crack the spine. I'm not trying to do that.
Read the rest of the
I don't really care that much. Like, if it breaks, it breaks.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, I'm not intentionally trying to do it, but I'm also not intentionally trying to avoid it.
Yeah.
Dog earring, however, gets me so triggered. I don't know what it is about this. I use a bookmark or whatever can fit in the book, but specifically, I have somebody in my life who is a psychopath when it comes to dog earring books. And to the point where, like, I don't know, this doesn't really make it any better or worse, because, like, excuse me, I hate it all, but he'll just, like, so it's not even, like, a 90-degree angle. There was one that I saw, and it was, like, the whole top of the page, just like a, what is that triangle? Isosceles triangle? Like, what's happening? I literally bought him bookmarks because I was like, you're stressing me out. And it's his book, so like, do what you want. But it makes me panic every time I see him do it. So I got him one of the ones because he was saying that he didn't always want to like go find a bookmark or whatever. So I got him the ones that like clip on the back and then it has like a flap. So when you turn the page, it just like flops over to the next thing. Because when he was there staying here and I was dying. Excuse me.
So he would be one that you would never let one over your book.
Not if he's going to do that. It is, I do feel like it makes a difference. It still triggered me even though they were his books. But for sure, if you are doing that to somebody else's book or to like a community book like at a library or something, straight to jail. Do not ever do that. If you ever do that to one of my books, you be back to me.
That's the last time. First and last time.
Like, don't talk to me. Don't look at me. No way. Absolutely
not. So going into reading habits. So we kind of touched on this, but reading slumps, are they a myth or are they not? So hot takes on burnout, mood reading, and the pressure to always be reading. Do you have any, what are your thoughts around those?
Reading slumps, I think, are definitely real. Obviously, I just talked about experiencing big ones. I feel like when you have a really impactful book or series, it can be hard to get into something else. You kind of not want to pick up anything else because you're like, it's not going to be that good. So I think slumps are definitely real. People say they are crazy. And you're just forcing yourself through that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like getting over, I don't want to say a breakup, but sometimes it feels like that.
Yeah, well, because some of those, especially with series, I feel like a lot of times you're on such an emotional like roller coaster with that.
That you're very invested with these characters because you've gone through like 3 to 5 to 8 books of these characters.
And so to be like that invested and like emotional ups and downs and all this stuff happening, to just be like, oh, okay, I'm over it, is, I've talked about this before, super emotional, but when books make me have feelings, I hate it. When when I have big feelings about it, you're not just like getting over that. Like you said, like with a breakup, you're not just like, oh, I'm fine now. Let me just jump into the next set of characters that I'm supposed to like fall in love with and have all these same feelings for. So definitely think that's a thing.
Yeah.
I'm a mood reader. That's why we talked about reading a bajillion books at one time. Because it's really easy for me to be like, this is too heavy right now. I want something more heavy right now. It's kind of boring and I need something funny.
Yeah.
So, or it's 11 o'clock at night. I cannot read this horror right now. It's going in the freezer. Because I keep looking out the window. You know what I mean? So, mood reading is for sure also a thing. I mean, if you're a non-mood reader, what's that like?
I don't.
Are those the people that are just reading one genre?
I mean, that makes a good point because it's all the same.
It's all the same. I contribute that to most of it. My other part is just the different formats because of like what I'm doing at the time. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's the majority of the reason why I read multiple things because I need sometimes I need a little bit of a change, especially like going through like a series of like 8 books. That's a lot.
I feel that pressure to be always reading. Yeah.
Yes, we talked about this recently about
Mhm.
feeling behind. I feel like there's a couple things I want to say on this. One, I feel like with social media, especially, it's easy to look at other people who are like, "Oh, I'm reading 200 books a year."
That is insane.
Yeah, I feel like we read a lot,
Yeah.
and I'm not reading 200 books a year.
No. What are you doing?
I don't know. Again, I don't know if they're all like quick reads, like romance or like quick mysteries, or I'm not sure
Yeah.
what's happening there. That seems like a lot to me, but I guess if you have the time to do that, I don't know how because I feel like I'm always reading it. I'm not reading that. So I feel like sometimes it can be a lot of pressure whenever you're seeing other people. You'll feel a little bit behind,
Yeah.
like you're not reading enough. Also, this is something that I put myself into, which is that I'm involved in a lot of book related things. We obviously have a podcast. I have a book club that I run, and then we just joined another book club. And so those are all kind of, I don't want to say mandatory reading, but for lack of a better word, it's mandatory reading. And so then I feel like sometimes I get into those sections, and then I feel like my TBR is being neglected of stuff that I just really want to read. Because I also have, sorry, you guys.
Getting on my phone.
Yeah, not feeling the best right now. I'm talking so much, that's making me cough. Joe and I are reading together. Buddy reads all the time. Also, and so sometimes I feel like my personal, what I want to just read for just pure enjoyment, can get
On the back burner.
behind. You know, there's no behind because it's me putting my own pressure on it.
Yeah.
But I definitely can understand feeling that way for those couple of reasons.
Yeah. I agree with you. I do think we read a lot. Like, just looking at it monthly, we have 2 book clubs that are one book a month. And then we read for the podcast, which is 4 weeks. So that's 6 books in 1 month just for,
Quote unquote mandatory reading.
and then on, like you said, on top of that, we read out of like pure enjoyment or to knock down our own TBRs. And
Because I'm probably reading another a month. I feel like
which is
over 100 books a year. Which
Yeah.
I feel like it's still a lot.
that is a lot. I was gonna
It's 2 to
say
3 books a week.
I was about to say I'm finishing 2 to 3 books a week.
Yeah.
Because I'm knocking down my own TBR and I do the things that you're doing, except for with Joe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gets daunting, especially whenever I need to finish I have to like prioritize my book reading sometimes because I'm like, oh, this book took
Yeah.
too long, or I was away this weekend, so I didn't get to read like I thought I was.
Yeah.
So I have to read this book because my book club is tomorrow, so I need to finish the book.
Yeah.
And then a few days later, now we're doing for the podcast, so I need to finish the podcast book. You know?
Yeah.
And so it can't, there are times where I feel like I need to catch up on the reading. And then I feel like, now that I feel like I need to catch up, that I don't want to read for my own enjoyment.
Yeah.
Because, it's like, now it feels almost like a chore or a job. But, which is crazy, because it's pure entertainment. But I do feel that. And I do, in that point, I get burnt out. I can get burnt out with reading, and sometimes I just don't want to.
Yeah.
But, yes, I am a mood reader. I do stagger out my reading now, where I'll do a book for, like, mandatory, and then I'll do 1 to 2 books for, whatever, a buddy read or this kind of my own TBR.
Yeah.
And I try and do, I've noticed recently that with my TBR, I'll pick out books that are not in book clubs or in the podcast.
Yeah.
So if it's like a mystery, then I won't read a TBR mystery, a romance, or like a fantasy or something. I'll try and like mix them up because I am a mood reader and I don't want to be having to read all these thrillers. Like I don't want to read a thriller. I want to read like something cute and cuddly or something.
Yeah.
But I do get it. I understand. It can be, and then especially like feeling like left out to dry after a long, intense like series read.
And let me just say too, if you are a person who is not reading and have seen more books, if you're reading 1 book a year, I mean, I can't remember the statistic on it, but it was, we'll put it behind it. But it was something like if you read 1 book a year, it's more than like, I want to say it was like 90% of the population or something. It was something
outrageous.
Yeah. Literally, most people do not even read a single book a year.
Yeah.
So please, 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 don't feel guilty if you're not reaching these 200 books, 100 books.
Yeah, we're reading even if we read 2 books a week, that's 100 books. And that's insane just with our schedule. I'm like,
yeah,
we're reading 4 books.
We both also have
4 books
we
a
have
week.
lives outside of reading, despite what it may seem like. But like I said, I mean, I'm a mom. We both work full time and have friends and family and other obligations. And so if you are somebody who can only make time for 1 book a year, guess what? You're still doing great. So do not feel bad about that. And I think we need to be a little better about taking our own advice on that. Everybody who reads is doing great. Whatever pace that is, and however many a year, you're doing great.
Yeah, I agree. Pick up a book. And if you haven't read in a very long time, or you have never read, like kind of skirting your way through a school, like book.
Yeah.
Sometimes you read like short stories, but like an actual novel or a series. Definitely pick up something that you're already leaning into. Like if you play video games, pick up a book that's in that video game genre.
Yeah.
Try it out. Put some thoughts around it.
Have some thoughts.
Have some thoughts.
And then last up, any reading habits that give you the ick?
I don't know. Not really reading habits that give you the ick, but I don't like it whenever readers, well, I know you feel this way too. Like, read the last paragraph or the last chapter of a book, and it's like, why are you doing that? Because you have no context of these characters.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I also don't like whenever, I know we've talked about this already, I also don't like it whenever people just read all one genre.
Yeah.
All you read is fantasy.
I think it's just,
You only read fantasy?
I think it's just because it's so hard for us to make sense of as read readers. It's so hard to wrap our brains around only sticking to one genre.
Yeah.
Could be me. Yeah. I also don't like the reading the last page thing, but even more than that, I know people who intentionally look up spoilers. Yeah. And that blows my mind. I mean, I guess if you really need to know, that's you.
So, like actual spoilers?
They literally look up what happened in the book.
Okay, so I know that this isn't
Like
us,
full
but
on, character side.
okay, so that's insane.
Yeah.
So, okay, So I was gonna say,
I would never have an emotion in a book if I knew what was going to happen, because that's the only way it gets me.
yeah, because you can build a relationship
Yeah.
with the character and then like let the story unfold. I kind of was thinking like maybe trigger warnings. I know you and I don't really go into trigger warnings because I feel like a trigger warning is a little bit like a spoiler of the book because
It
then
can
you
be,
know
sure. If
what-
it's like something specific, like death by suicide can
Yeah.
be a trigger for somebody, and so then obviously you know there's a suicide in the book.
Yeah.
I feel like that is more of a. I feel like it's a little more acceptable
Mhm.
because, like, if something does actually, if you do have a trigger like that,
Mhm.
sure, like I would want you to experience that. I don't really. I've never found anything that triggered me so much to where I would read a book, but I can understand why people
Yeah.
do that. And I feel like it's an overall, like, hey, there's this theme that happens, but it doesn't give away, like, who or what
Yeah.
or when or how or whatever. And so I feel like it's a little bit different,
Mhm.
and that's just you preparing yourself, knowing that you have a trigger.
Yeah.
Again, I don't, and so I don't really look like that.
You don't, yeah.
But
But like looking on if a character straight died, like you're reading your page 3 and you're like, does this character die in this book?
Yeah.
It's insane. That's crazy.
like,
Then
they
what are
know,
you
they
gonna
know,
do? What are you
they know
gonna-
everybody who dies. They know what happens, and I'm just like, what is the point of reading it then? Like, you already
You
know,
already know the destination.
Yeah.
So you don't want to experience the journey, is what you're saying?
which they still do. It's
No, I don't think you
no, I'm saying that they
really-
still choose to read it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I cannot wrap my head
How are you gonna do
around
it?
that because I'm like, I'm already there. Why am I?
I could.
I don't have time in my life for that. If I already know the ending, I'm done. So
just go to the next book.
yeah, another one for me is this is only for me with physical books. It doesn't really bother me whenever I'm listening to them, but whenever people don't finish a chapter,
Oh, I
if
hate
you're
that.
physically reading and then
Yeah.
you just stop right there, I'm like, no.
I hate that. I like you're gonna finish a chapter. Yes, okay, that's you're right about that. So and I also feel that way in a Kindle
Yeah,
because you are at a stopping point. But whenever you're listening, you just pause it and you just read.
yeah. I
that.
don't know.
You
There's something about
see it.
audio that's like fine. I think
Yeah.
it's the seeing it, the
Yeah.
visual for me that gets me because I can like, get out of the car and I'm fine.
Yeah,
But like if I'm sitting on the couch reading a physical book or reading on my Kindle, I'm like, hold on, let me finish this chapter and then I'll do that. Whatever.
you know what I've also done is like with the physical book or my Kindle is I need to get interrupted. And I'm like 2 pages into a new chapter, and I look, and I'm like, have 10 more pages in this chapter. I'll go to the yes. I will.
I don't think I've ever done that.
I've done that because I'm like, no, I can't do it. I will reread the 2 to 3 pages. I can't do it. I physically
hilarious.
cannot because I'm in the middle of the chapter, and I'm like not even halfway through.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have time to finish 10 more pages
Yeah.
because this thing is happening. And I'm like, okay, fine.
I feel
Go
like
back.
that too. Like I'm only reading physically whenever I know, like I have some time, or like I read physically a lot at night.
Mhm.
So there's not a high chance that I'm going to get interrupted or so interrupted where I can't like just finish up the chapter.
Yeah.
So I've never done that one. I've never gone back to be in a chapter beginning. That's really funny.
Yeah.
I love that.
I can't do it.
So those are our bookish confessions. If you guys have any that we didn't talk about or want to add your input on what we did talk about, please leave it in the comments. We definitely want to know what y'all are out there doing. If you're lying about Goodreads,
Shame on you.
but also tell us because we really want to know.
Yeah, is
Who's
this a
doing
real thing? Or is it just like.
Or if you know somebody.
Or
I
if
need to see.
you know somebody that straight lined their way through a conversation of reading a book and like, please, I am dying to know because it's never crossed my mind to do that.
Me neither. I think earlier we were talking and you brought up a book and I was like, oh yeah, I haven't read that. And my instant thought was, see, that's my reaction. Oh, I haven't read that.
I haven't
So
read that.
how are you just like, oh yeah.
I know what
Blah,
you're
blah,
talking
blah.
about. Continue. I read it. It's like, what?
Crazy.
Nuts. Anyway, that was a stressful episode. Blood pressure is up.
If we talk about not having triggers, but apparently we have some triggers when
Yeah.
it comes to reading habits.
Anyway. Next week, we are we're reading from our TBR jar. I really like a TBR jar.
Me too.
Me
She's so cute.
Okay, so to add to our 100 count.
Here, yay, we're reading Caraval. So excited. I'm so excited too. I've been really wanting to read this book for a while.
That one, you know, it's been on my TBR because of a
TikTok strikes again.
Anyway, now's your chance to pick up a copy of the book and hopefully read it before. Or if you don't want to read it, please stay tuned to hear our thoughts on it.